What's going on? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. So I just want to give my opinion on the current situation regarding the potential takeover of Newcastle United. Now, of course, it did break last Sunday on the Sun newspaper online that apparently the Sheikh Khaled group of Dubai are interested in purchasing Newcastle United for £350 million. Now, of course, I've been really quiet on the situation as, of course, you don't know whether it's true or not, and I didn't really want to jump the gun too quickly. Now, I've had a bit of time to reflect, I've had a bit of time to think, and I have to say, it's time that Mike Ashley gives up this club once and for all. If we want to progress, if we want to really go forward with this football club, if we really want to go to that next level, Mike Ashley has to give up. And the offer of £350 million, for me, he should take it, because you've got to remember Mike Ashley bought the club for £134 million. And if he sells for £350 million, then Mike Ashley is making a profit of £216 million. £216 million. And he could take that and leave it. And I think with this current situation regarding the Sheikh Khaled group, they have actually communicated with the Newcastle public more times in the space of a week than Mike Ashley has done in 12 years of running this football club. Now, I'm not saying that Mike Ashley hasn't put any money into the football club, but what I will say is the money that he has put into the football club have been for his interests and not the club's interests or the fans. And I have to say that we need to have more money pumped into this football club if we want to go forward. And Mike Ashley, of course, we know he's a businessman. He runs things how he wants it to be run. And Rafa Benitez, since he's been here in 2016, he's had nothing really much to spend. It's all been scraps, and I think he deserves a lot better. Now, of course, with these new owners potentially coming in, I'm not going to say that nothing's done for sure, because at the moment we all know that anything could happen regarding Mike Ashley and a takeover. He's done this before, where we've had potential owners come in to buy the football club and he's knocked it back at the last minute. Now, I think this time he can't refuse it, and we're at the stage at the moment where, yes, they have come out and communicated with the fans. At the moment, we're at a stage where the accounts of funds have been submitted to Mike Ashley's lawyers from the Sheikh Khaled group, and that's now been processed to the Premier League for them to have a look at. And I'm just hoping and praying, like all Newcastle fans, that we can get this deal over and done with. Now, of course, I've heard a lot of sort of noises that apparently this could be done tomorrow. I mean, I'm recording this Thursday afternoon. I doubt it'll be done by tomorrow, but if anything happens, we need to get this done sooner rather than later. And with this investment, if it is going to be the owner, the Sheikh Khaled group going forward, then I'm not going to say that we need to be the next Manchester City, and I think they've come out and said that they're not going to be the next Manchester City. They're not going to come out and spend a boatload of money, but they do have enough money to see Newcastle competing, at the higher end of the Premier League, the top 7. And that's where I want to see Newcastle. I want to see Newcastle have a bit more ambition. I want to see some top quality signings at this football club, and I want to see us try and go for a little bit of success, have a little good cup run and try and make what we can, of the season. Because look at this season, when we stayed in the Premier League, with 3 or 4 games to go and we had nothing else to play for, and I don't like that. And we've had that, under Mike Ashley since he's been here. We've had one decent success under Mike Ashley, of course, with Pardew, the Europa League season, the season before finishing 5th. But since then, we've had another relegation, we've had 2 relegations, and we've stagnated. Even when we've been in the Premier League, it's always been around about mid-table, and I think our club deserves a lot better than that. Now, I'm not saying that we deserve to win trophies. Nobody has a goddamn right to win trophies. You've got to earn it. But what I'm saying is we need to, if this deal does go through, we need to grow step by step. And what I'm saying by that is, let's try and consolidate. Let's try and get into that top 10. Let's push on for that, top 7 spot, Europa League football, then potentially see how much they invest in the football club and try and go for the Champions League and see what happens from there. Because I'm not going to lie, I am jealous, when I see other clubs such as, Everton, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, all of those big clubs, having success, playing in the Champions League on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, Europa League football, and we don't have that. And you're seeing teams, winning the FA Cup, League Cup. We haven't won anything, since 1969, which is, quite concerning. But obviously at the minute, in terms of these takeover talks, at the minute we've just got to take it with a pinch of salt. I don't want to get too high, and I certainly won't get too low if it doesn't happen. I'm sort of skeptical on the whole situation because yes, it's come from a newspaper and it has, you know, progressed over the week, but you've also got to think with caution, because for me, we need to make sure that if this deal does go through, that, you know, we're not getting ahead of ourselves, that we're not expecting to spend loads of money straight away, and I'm sure they won't be wanting to do that. If I was the owners coming in at Newcastle, first of all, I would look at the ground. Let's improve the stadium, let's improve the facilities, let's make sure that we get the right manager in the football club, hoping that it's Rafa Benitez. If we do get Rafa Benitez, let's tie him down to maybe a 3-year contract. You know, let's get some players in the door. Let Rafa Benitez have a bit more money to spend to take us forward. If not, of course, if it's a new manager, we'll accept that because new owners have new ideas, and I'll be happy with that. It's a new era at Newcastle. But I just think in terms of the Mike Ashley situation regarding him as still owner, he's obviously made it quite clear over the last couple of seasons that he just hasn't got the money to invest in the football club. And he's been saying that, I mean, the last time he came out on the news, he said that Newcastle will be sold by January. Well, we haven't been sold by January. We're now coming at the end of May, approaching June. And now is the time I think Mike Ashley just needs to sell up. Of course, that's easier said than done. But Mike Ashley now just needs to take the £350 million and take off and go, because at the end of the day, we're not going to get anywhere, you know, under Mike Ashley. And for me, he's been one of the worst owners I've ever seen, you know, in English football. And he's never really had an interest in football, which really annoys us more, because as Newcastle fans, you know, we just want to see a bit of progression, and we haven't seen that. And I just think if we can, you know, get these new owners in, if they can buy into what the fans want, then you just never know. Now, of course, there's a lot more to it. We've just got to keep waiting and seeing what's going to happen in terms of the next few days, next few weeks. But hopefully it's all positive. Hopefully we can get somebody through the door. Like I say, if it doesn't go through, then I'm not going to be disappointed, because again, it's Mike Ashley. This has happened in the past. But we'll just have to wait and see in terms of, you know, if we do get this owner in, what he wants, you know, going forward. But again, these are wealthy owners, and we'll just have to wait and see in terms of progression. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about the current situation regarding the takeover. Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's not going to go through? Let us know down below in the comments. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to 100% NUFC. Away the lads.